Music and Booze with Mo is produced and distributed by EatsDrinksTV, a service of the Center for Culinary Culture, home of the Cocktail Collection, and First Reel Entertainment, and is available wherever fine podcasts can be heard. The Center for Culinary Culture, telling the story of food and drink, one taste at a time. Welcome to Music and Booze with Mo. I'm Mo Herms, and I've worked in the music industry most of my life, so have met some pretty amazing musicians over the years. I also love a good cocktail, and I've encountered some really interesting bartenders as well. It seems that there's a lot of crossover, so when I can, I like to talk to musicians and bartenders about music and booze. Join us at the bar, won't you? Music and Booze with Mo is brought to you by The Mermaid, an underwater oasis with tropical cocktails and more, located in the Little Tokyo district of downtown LA. Follow The Mermaid on Instagram at The Mermaid LA for a complete listing of hours, events, and more. The Mermaid LA is proudly woman and Latin owned, and you can visit them at 428 East 2nd Street in downtown Los Angeles.
これからみんなでめちゃくちゃ踊って騒ごう騒ごう
Headbanger. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me.
Today I got to talk to Lou Bernard, who is the beverage director over at Mita, a vegan restaurant in Washington, D.C., which is both Michelin Guide recognized and a James Beard nominee for 2025. So definitely a spot you want to check out. It is a Pan-Latin place, and Lou has spent much of his career bringing the Latin focus to his cocktails. So we're going to talk about all the work he's done in Washington, D.C., his love of rock and Espanol and 90s hip-hop, and so much more.
Lou Bernard is my name. Washington, D.C. is where I'm from. Latin American background, of course. Right now, I am the beverage director at Mita. Mita is in Washington, D.C., an area called Shaw, Northwest Washington. Yeah.
And Mita is, do I remember that it is a vegan Latin food place, like restaurant?
So, yes, but we don't introduce ourselves that way.
Well,
Otherwise,
as a Latin, I'm always like, how can it be vegan?
yes. Not only that, it will put us in the same category as like normal vegan restaurants. Nothing wrong with that. They're doing an amazing job. We introduce ourselves as we are Mita. We are a Latin American inspired restaurant, bringing the Latin American authentic culture through the vegetable experience. Which what makes us different is we cook a strictly Latin American style, just no meat. Meaning, like, if you're Latin American or not, or we've been, sancochos, asados,
Yep.
all the normal stuff is just no meat. We replace the meat with vegetables. Everything else is authentic. We do a lot of street style things from different countries around Latin America in general, but elevated version because we are a fine dining restaurant.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I actually grew up, making my mom's lentils, and at some point
I
I
love that.
realized if I just leave the pork out of it, it's completely vegan.
Yes,
Completely vegan. If there's
exactly. And the
nothing else,
rice and all the seasoning, everything's
the
the same.
seasoning, everything is it's like, you
Yes.
make the roux, all this kind of stuff. It's delicious. And I was like, the only thing that throws it out. So, and I learned this because I have vegan friends, and I was bringing it to dinner with them, and I'm like, if I just leave the pork out, it's totally vegan. Sweet. Well, put the pork on the side. Somebody wants to mix it in who's not vegan, they could just do that.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
on the bar side, since you're the beverage director, so I mean, I can't really think of any time that a drink would not be vegan.
Well, believe it or not, yes and no. So it all depends. Well, so I've done this for a long time now, and ever since I got to cocktails to craft, I always represent Latin America.
Mhm.
This past 2 years, So all my programs, meaning like all my programs, everything I've done here in Washington is being Latin American background, all 100%. These past 2 years is a little different because obviously I saw who I am teaming up with. So my program now involves a lot of vegetables, fruits, which
Mhm.
normally fruits has always been there,
Yeah.
depending on what level of you use your fruits and the bar program. But a lot of vegetables and no egg whites, no honey,
Mm,
because that is part of the whole non-vegan.
that's right.
And
That's
always
right.
looking to see how, which was a challenge, not as much as a challenge, but more of a, put my knowledge to test because then you have to see how do you distill in this vodka? How do you distill in this gin that is from
Mm.
Brazil or this gin from Peru? Or how are they vegan friendly by meaning like are they using any animal in general in there?
Yeah,
But
actually, a
which
lot of mezcals, there's animal
exactly.
involved. Hmm.
Um, so yeah, so I always try to make sure is completely 100% in our world, and that's what pretty much I do. And then I fill the bar with all the spirits, and I make cocktails, like I said, representing our program, which is like I said, plant based style.
When did you get started bartending?
Oh man, so college,
I went
college,
with like college. I needed extra
yeah, the
money.
side job. Back then, I did not know much about how the industry worked, but
Hmm.
I knew that I was lucky because back then they hired me to work Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Hmm.
which usually that don't happen because they always want you to work weekdays,
Yeah.
plus weekends. They have people they work there for a long time, and you have to work your way up, kind of thing. And but I was privileged, lucky, I guess, privileged, not privileged, but lucky to know some people around as a consumer. I got to be friends with the other side of the bar as like, hey, and one day it was like, hey man, we're looking for a bar back. And I was like, man, I never done that, but I help you. I don't know, tell me what to do. He was like, no, for real, we need like a full time. I said, oh man, I mean, I can, yeah. I mean, I think I was in my sophomore year of college,
Hmm.
and I said, I mean, I'm still going to school, man, but I can help you. Like, I don't know, like, all I can help you is weekends. He said, can you do it Thursday? I said, shit, maybe. Sorry, my
Oh
language.
no, no, no. We totally swear on this. We're talking
Okay, I
about
was gonna
music and
say,
booze.
um, I said, yeah, man, I can try. I mean, let me see, but I know I can do Friday and Saturday. He said, let me know, but yeah, you'll come next weekend, and that's how I started. And I started in this place called, well, now it's different, but now back then it was called the Bullpen, and it was by the baseball stadium. The company
Was this in
now
DC?
in DC, yeah.
In DC?
Now the company now is called Georgetown Events. It
Ah,
wasn't Georgetown Events back then. It was private owned by this guy named Bo. Very good dude.
ah,
And he had other bars. So now I'm thinking I'm gonna work at the bullpen because that's the friendship that
yeah.
started with these guys. And this was when DC was just going through changes and like nothing was built. Certain areas was coming up. The baseball stadium was about to be open, so he found this spot to be open. This place called Bullpen, which is really a garage that fit 500 people with some tents, and the bar was made out of just like 6x6s and 2x2s, and all we saw was canned beer and frozen Red Bull slushy. I grew with him. Like I said, I was going to college. Then, like I said, he kind of like put me to be in charge. It was like, hey, help me run these things. Help me get these people to work with us. Which it was the Latino community, of course. Yeah, I don't know. The rest of his history. I grew with him up into maybe 4 years. He opened that place. That place became one bar. Then that bar became the bar inside another place called Fairground. So the
Mhm.
the bullpen was that one place, and then he took over the whole block with like ship
Oh,
containers,
cool.
and turned it into something called the Fairgrounds. And the bullpen became the bar inside the Fairgrounds, which
Oh,
he built a music stage. He have vendors from all kinds of places to sell their foods or goods or whatever they might be sell. That's kind of like compatible and good for the baseball season anyway.
yeah,
Back then it was only baseball season. Now he opens almost every season, every day with a lot of
yeah.
things. But yeah, it said that he grew, I graduated, he became richer, and I was kind of like, yo, I gotta go, because um, I just had to go do my own thing, sort of thing. I mean, that's why I finished school.
Yeah.
I
And
studied one more
what
year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what were you studying? What did
I
you
went to
do for your
school of
degree?
business called Robert Smith, University of Maryland.
And so you were gonna
I
go
went to,
into you were like business school, so you wanted to
I
work in
went to be an
businesses.
accountant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know. I was there for a while. I left the industry after 4 years working with them. But I got to be in charge of a lot of the music venue for him when he built the whole thing. It was like the stages, the DJs part of the other place. So he had other places called Smith Point, and he opened other places, rooftops, and this and that. Everything is always related to like that. I don't want to say Mexican background, American background, but he
Mhm.
opened something called Surfside, which it was like tacos, but
Yeah,
meets
yeah.
Surfside a little bit. You know what I mean? Like
Little
Nantucket
Baja
tacos.
vibe, maybe.
Exactly. So I always work with him, like I said, in through the whole situation. I don't know. I like him. He had other people, of course, other management. The good thing for him, I think it was a good move. It was like he always hired the young folks out of college, into college,
Mhm.
or out of college, just to like manage his. I think that's how he grew and became Georgetown Events because it was because of everybody that was like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So,
so music was always part of that because
yeah.
of that, man. I got to meet an amazing woman working for us, not for us, with us, because I never worked for me, but with us, named Gretchen, which Gretchen now is the lead singer and one of the main founders of this band called White for Broncos,
Oh,
which is
cool.
huge, popular in DC and a little bit down the East Coast, a little bit here there.
Mhm.
Um, Same. She loved music. I love music. We were there for music. We were there for drinks. We were there getting money because that's what we were working for.
That's
But
amazing.
um, she
So,
that the movement was part of a lot of success for a lot of people going different directions. Like her, she got her band. Me, I went other places. I don't know. It was a good environment there.
so did you
So,
actually, you said that when it started, it was, beer and the Red Bull
yeah,
slushies. So
yeah.
did you get to move with him for a moment when he opened up other places and started actually making like cocktails?
Yeah, so he had a place called Smith Point.
Mhm.
From the Smith Point, he had another place called the Surfside. The
Yeah.
Smith Point was like a strictly members only, and at
Oh,
that point, it was not about Republican or Democrat.
yeah.
Everybody was there.
Yeah.
Members only in Georgetown. Back then, Georgetown was a different scene back in those days.
Hmm.
Um, so I got to work with there, and there it was different. We never really had a cocktail menu. We can
Yeah.
say we had some stuff there, but it was like martinis. Yes, it was like the whole Bud Light, Budweiser kind of moment
Yeah.
to back
Yeah.
then. But definitely margaritas, rum and cokes, whiskey gingers. That's when I was like, oh yeah, I can do this, and I was already there for a little bit. I was already in the game for some, so
Yeah.
no big deal. Surfside was a strictly margaritas,
Yeah,
all
it sounds like
flavors,
it.
frozen,
Mhm.
regular. We had like beers, just like I said, Nantucket sort of flavor
Yeah.
Baja. So it was all that.
So when did you
Um,
start getting to, I mean, you evolved obviously, but
yes,
did you actually leave this for a minute and do accounting?
I did. I went. So when I quit for him, it was when I went to like, oh man, I gotta go do this.
Yeah,
Like
you're like, I
seriously.
got to use my degree.
Yeah, I ended up working for Booz Allen for a little bit. Well, I got recruited for a financial department at this car dealership in Virginia called BCG Motors.
Mhm.
That's when I really got to this whole finance a little bit, and I was like, oh, let me see. This must be easy. It wasn't that easy. It was like my first actually accounting job for these guys, so it was kind
Yeah.
of like, oh shit, like.
Yeah.
But it was good. I mean, we went to school for it. It was like just
Mhm.
different because now I'm actually working for somebody for what I, got to learn and
Yeah.
stuff. Great guys. There was some Turkey. They were all Turkish guys. So I
Yeah.
was the only Latino American, like just non-Turkish in the whole everything. I think because of me is when they start hiring other cultures to work there. But when I
Yeah,
started with
yeah.
you guys, it was all them running the joint. So it was good. It was a great experience. I went from that to Booz Allen, uh, Deloitte.
So you did it for a while.
I did it for a
So,
while. I
so what
did it
made
like
you did it, but eventually it didn't stick.
I stick. I just Booz Allen was my. I went back to Booz Allen in a different. They opened an office in Navy Yard, which is where the baseball stadium is. Where's
Oh,
where
so
the
you were back over there.
Yes and no. So no, not back over there, back to the area.
Back in the
I
area,
don't know.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was one of those things. I think. it was one of those things like the movie, Half Baked. I don't know if you ever watched that movie,
No.
when the guy comes to work and all he does is flipping burgers. He come in and one day he looks in his entire restaurant. I looked at my entire department, and he really says, and his manager says, "Hey man, come on man, you got to clock in." And he tells the manager, "You know what? If you, like you guys, I'm
I'm
out."
out.
Exactly what I did. I went one day. I love my boss. The dude was legit awesome. I just walked one day and I was like, "What am I doing here with these people? Like, this is crazy." Like, and I told him, I said, "Hey, man," and he was very nice. He was like, he always be so like I was like doing my thing. He said, "Oh, calm down." He said, "Just you know what? You need 2 weeks. You haven't taken vacation. Why don't you take you 2 weeks? I'll pay
Yeah.
you. Come back." I said, "I'm not coming back."
Otra noche, otra. Ay, que yo no te bote. Otra noche, otra. Aunque tú vuelvas con él. Otra noche, otra. Cuéntale, otra noche, otra. Que beso mejor que otra noche, otra. Cuéntale, otra noche, otra.
So did you then head on back over to one
I
of the
didn't go back
bars?
to no, I didn't go back there. I went to work at this place here as a staple in DC. It's still open. It's called Madam's Organ Blues Bar.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's been open for many years before me. So 4 years with me when I got there.
Oh, that's a long time.
They bring back. Every place I work has always been 4 years. Like I think the minimum I ever worked was probably three at some place. But my career in the industry is well known, humble, very humble here in DC. Well
Yeah.
known, but short because I never jumped like, oh, let me work here. Oh, you know what? It didn't work out. Oh, let me work there. Oh, it didn't.
Mhm.
No. Thankfully, so my resume says, I think 4 places. It has always been between the three, four. Even when that's including like working my day job, that
Mhm.
part time. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I think the
So even
the
when you were doing the accounting, you were still dabbling in
yes.
bartending at
Yeah.
that time.
The service industry for me full time, it started in 2017, like right
Mm.
at the beginning of 2017. That's when I very humble again, very humble. That's when I feel like I don't feel like that's exactly when I broke through and like man, everybody the entire DC knows Lou when I went to craft cocktails.
So
Um,
what got you started on the craft side of things?
You know, Madam's Organ Blues Bar got me to do
Yeah.
that. While I was in Madam's Organ Blues Bar, I started working there. I worked there for 4 years, almost four and a half kind of. I love it because the music. They brought bands from all over the United States. They have a nice stage. It was every night was a different theme, from country to blues to Latin to jazz to punk rock. I mean, the place is a state like I say still is. I still go sometimes there depending on what day I see the team and I go get
Yeah.
chill out. I still the owner still's there. I love when you tell the guy still he says it makes me feel like oh my god you're like 6 70 years old and you still say you tell him I say hey Bill how you doing I was like I'm doing good to see you it's good to be seen I was like wow. He always said that it's like crazy. But no, while I was working from Adams, it was a great time. At the same time, I ended up working just 3 days there, and I ended up working 2 days at this neighborhood joint called the Blogger. And the Blogger was an Irish pub, but it was by right American guys. Like
Yeah.
nobody was Irish there, but it was a neighborhood bar in the area called Adams Morgan. Madam's Organ Blues Bar is also in Adams Morgan
Okay.
in Washington. Great neighborhood because there's so much bars. It's a whole strip called 18th Street, full of bars and restaurants left and right, away
Nice.
like five blocks down, up and down,
Nice.
6 blocks I think actually. Anyway, so the blogger it was down there. I met this guy named Nikos. We became good friends. He was down there. I was up here. He knew kind of like, yo, come work here sometimes, this and that. So boom, next thing you know, what got me to craft cocktail, it was that the time that I put in Madam's Organ and the time that I put in and and the blogger is what told me to go to craft. Why? No judgment at all. It was one of those things like nobody knew how to make an old fashioned.
That's a pretty
We,
basic one.
I'm telling you, this is
That was 17 or so.
2015,
15.
2016. And man, when I'm telling you, Le Blogger is award-winning neighborhood bar.
Yeah.
When I was there, we won three and a half. Four, I was there 4.5, 4.5, 4 years back to back best neighborhood bar in the city. They
Nice.
already had won before me 3 times for neighborhood bar in the city. So that was 7 times altogether.
Wow.
They
It's
still
still
winning.
in. So
They
when
have
you
not
got
won.
there,
They have not won the past 2 years, but they, so. And I was just sitting there like, we had the spoon, we had a jigger, we had the steer mix tin, and we all talk to each other like, okay, how much of simple syrup? So how much of this? And we're like, nobody knew how to make it a proper old fashioned. And we would sit there and talk about it. But I'm telling you, we were beer knowledge. We had our Cicerone certified, which is like the beer
yeah.
certification.
Hmm.
Cicerone 1, Cicerone 2. I mean, we had like 22 craft. Back then, the craft beer was crazy. The whole
Yeah.
like the image what everybody created of like, oh my God, tattoos, long beard,
Yeah.
IPAs. How many IPAs you got? Like, we were that place. It might be not the same anymore, but neighborhood bars is still a thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, we were all good at that. And yeah, man, volume on the weekends, fucking vodka sodas all the time. At the same time, we also established ourselves like the number one Washington Redskins then. Now it's Washington Commanders or the Commanders.
Yes.
But back then, the number one Washington Redskins bar, both levels, full pack TV projector. I mean, it was game with sound. I mean, we were the best. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
then,
saying I'm not the best now, but I'm just saying
so
like,
then did you like get a book or something to
no, it was
what got you guys saying, let's learn how to do this right?
you
Like
know
what was the motivation there?
the owner, I think he felt that the industry obviously is growing in certain other directions.
Hmm.
He teamed up with some folks and opened a back then. That was another thing here in DC. I don't know, something people call farm to table, table
Yeah.
to farm,
Hmm.
a restaurant, craft cocktails, and
Hmm.
this and that, and opening an area called Georgia Avenue, which
Hmm.
still up and coming. Never made it. They only opened for 2 3 years, I think, closed down. But as when I understood what they were doing, I said, "Yo, Nick," I said, "Man, I want to go out there." And obviously, from Nick to hear that from me, it was like, "Fuck no."
Yeah.
Like you're a blogger. Like you
Yeah,
live
yeah.
here. That's it. This is crazy, right? It was that sort of attitude. And I was like, no, man, I'm telling you, like I want to go out and see that. And he's like, nah, man. And and then he's our general manager was his brother, Alex. I said, yo, Alex, like, man, I have these ideas, man. Like, I think that, I want to go over there and do this. And he's like, oh, man, but you work here, bro. Like, it was that, like, no, why you want to damage this situation here kind of move. I have made friendships around. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and say like everybody know Lou, but the neighborhood knew Lou. Adams Morgan was like Lou. So, at that time, it was an amazing guy named Frank Mills. Frank was working at this place also in Adams Morgan. I got to be friends with him for over the years. My best friend was dating him. Oh my God, this and that. Anyway, I left him 2017, it was December. We bring in the 2017 year, this and that, and I run into Frank. Yo, Frank, me and Frank actually went to high school,
Oh
not
my
the same
God.
high school. Yes,
Mhm.
we know each other from high school, not the same high school. He went to a high school named TC Williams. I went to a high school named West Potomac. They both
Uh-huh.
in Alexandria. We played football against each other. So that's where we became even more friends because we have that in common. We
Hmm.
had that in common. Anyway, I ran into Frank that one time. It was like January something, and this like like an event for the industry and this and that. Boom, like, yo, Frank, yo, Lou, this and that. He said, yo, what are you doing? I said, oh man, I'm picking up shifts. I'm going to back to regular job, back to day walker. That's what we call him, like the day walker. He said, "You going back to Daywalker?" He said, "I thought you left." I said, "I did, man, but you know what? Things happen with these people, and I left, and right now I'm just picking up shifts here and there, and I'm gonna go and uh and then I'm going back to the Daywalking in the next week or two, man. I already got an interview, this and that." He said, "Oh man, what?" I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "Oh man, we're working on about to open this place, hip hop, music,
Mhm.
man, this that." Oysters, this, that, and like, oh man, sounds good. He said, "You looking for anything?" Because man, I wish I knew this. I wish I ran into you a couple of months because like all my bartenders are good, man, and this and that. And
Mhm.
I said, oh man, no, I mean I'm gonna go ahead and like I said, I already got hired. I'm gonna keep that Friday and Saturday bartending, get my day job going. But when are you opening? He said in 2 months. We're about to start doing training. I said, "Oh man, that's plenty of time still." He said, "Yeah, but it's a big thing. Like this is a big thing. The place will call Roy Boys." I said, "Oh man, that's what's up. Okay, hip hop and all that." He said, "Yeah, man, hip hop, this, that." And I said, "Okay." I said, "What are you looking for right now?" Then he said, "I need a bar back."
So you were right back where you started.
And I said, "Let me tell you how he." And I said, "Man, you know what? I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll be a bar back, but I'll let you know. Let me see because I'm bartending the weekend." And he said, "Oh man, no, find me a bar back." He said, "I'm not gonna let you do bar back." I said, "Why not?" He said, "Lou, it's you. Like you're not gonna be a bar
Oh,
back." I
yay.
said, "Frank, I've been a bar back before." I said, "I know that, but you managed for all these years. You bartend like I'm not. You're not gonna go somewhere else and be a bar back." He said, "I said, Frank, come on, man. Don't. Okay, if I know somebody, I'll tell you. Okay, whatever." We partied this and that. 2 weeks later, that stuck in my head. I was like, "What do you think? I can't be a barback." In my head, it was like, "You think he can't? I can't be a barback? What do you mean?" So I messaged him, "Yo, Frank, what's up?" He said, "Yo, what's going on with Road Boys?" He said, "Yo, you got a barback for me?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." To him. He said, "You do?" He said, "Yeah, full time. When you want him to come over?" He said, "Yo, tell him to meet me here." He gives me the address. It's in Shaw. It is exactly across the street from where Mita is right now.
Oh, wow.
Going back into my other home now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I actually
Anyway.
have questions to ask you, and I'm running out of time,
Oh shit! Oh,
unfortunately.
sorry, sorry.
No, no,
Let's
no,
go.
it's so okay. I just looking, I'm like, I've got like 10 minutes left
No,
before I
let's
have to
go.
jump.
Let's go.
But so I still haven't heard where did you start crafting proper
Roy
cocktails?
Boys.
So
Roy
okay.
Boys. I became a manager partner. I started the company as a barback. I told Frank, I said, "Hey, I know who's working for you. X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z is not going to leave in last a month. Exactly. Once they drop, I become the barback." He said, "Oh, come on, Lou. This," and he
But
hired
you
me.
knew, so you're like
And
it.
humbly, I was like, "Listen, I know, we've been doing this too long." Exactly 2 months, everybody dropped. We had three
Uh-huh.
left. I got in. He was working. We
Excellent.
welcomed two other new people. The best thing happened in life because that was the team. Boom. Row Boys took off from that point. Um, Sadly, pandemic hit us.
Yeah.
We were already established in our name. The group was good. Pandemic hit us, but then at the same time, Frank was not necessarily doing the best that I think everybody expected
Yeah.
him to do.
It's
So
tough.
ownership saw a lot of the things
Mhm.
because pandemic was hitting and we get shut down. Everybody sit down. They let a lot of people go. They told Frank, "Hey, man, I don't,
Were you guys
this."
doing to go? Were you allowed to do that during
We
that?
did. So when we returned, um, they said, "Lou, you've been our main guy here 1 year.
Yeah.
Can you do this?" Um, I said, "I definitely
Bottling
can do
stuff
that."
up. Well, let
He
me
said,
ask you, it's kind of related because you we're talking about how this is like kind of a hip hop spot or
"Yeah,
that they wanted to play music. Did you ever have the opportunity to kind of craft cocktails like around songs or artists and that sort of thing?
that's all we did there."
Yes, I love
So
it.
that's
What were
when I
some
said,
that
so
you
that's when
remember?
things got blew up. I think
Yeah.
that being pandemic coming back, I took over the whole program. We had two
Mhm.
locations, one in Navy Yard, not necessarily
Oh,
close to the
nice.
stadium, but in there. Our first location is the one in Shaw, where we were. We started the whole thing. I think that I brought back the right people. Not only I brought, back, I promoted people. I taught people. I got put people under my wing and said, "Hey, we're gonna do this together. I'll teach you." One of the things, because another thing, it was like we needed to make sure labor, we were coming
Yeah,
back,
yeah, yeah.
monies, this and that. I took over and I sit down with those guys and say, "Hey man, if I'm going to do this, I need a percentage."
Mhm.
And not only from my salary, but you know what, if we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
The accountant was sitting next to us, and the accountant said, "Well, the goal is this. Can you make it?" I said, "I'll promise you that."
Okay.
My accounting mentality
Yeah,
came
it
in
was came in very handy.
my time in the industry put that together, and I told him, I said, "I promise you, Damon, this year, and all that will be fixed." Little did we know, we opened for the for we came back from pandemic. We
Mhm.
blew up in the cocktail world. Yes, all the cocktail was themed with hip hop. It was between
I gotta hear about some of them because this
it
is
was
music and booze, so I gotta hear more about the music.
it was between the Biggie, the whole theme was Biggie
Aw.
versus Tupac.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
it wasn't a versus meaning like, yo, we fighting
Yeah,
each
yeah,
other. It
yeah,
was
yeah.
bringing both
Both
cultures.
inspirations. Yeah. East Coast,
Exactly.
West
Of
Coast.
course, a lot of the things in those years, like from Missy Elliott,
Mhm.
from back then. It was a little bit. We when I
Mhm.
changed that a little bit with the music of I mixed hip hop and reggaeton a little bit.
Mhm.
So all the old school Don Omar, Tego Calderon, and then you have
Mhm.
still Tupac, and you still have. I put all those mixes together, and we decided to tell the staff, hey, we're gonna make cocktails. Let's name him, a little bit of why we, about this song.
Yeah,
Think
yeah,
about a
yeah.
song what's the feeling of that song. Let's make something like that, and the names which just came up from there. From I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it was.
see you incorporating the Latin stuff into that, at that
Yes,
time too.
when I took over with them, and it was legit on paper that I was the manager partner. I was like,
Mhm.
hey, I'm gonna switch things up. We cut off the oysters because hygiene,
Yeah,
pandemic.
it can be tricky.
So
Yeah.
what I did is still so we were a fried chicken and oyster place
Hmm.
with that southern sort of touch. So
Hmm.
what we changed is we continued with that southern fried chicken. We took the oysters and we incorporated authentic Mexican tacos, street style
Nice,
Mexican tacos called Rita's tacos,
nice.
which my chef in there, it was margarita. So I said, hey, you're gonna have this. It's gonna be your tacos. We're gonna give you a percentage of the sales, and we're gonna make sure your name established as like Rita's Tacos inside Robles.
Mhm.
And that is when Lou blew up in DC, pretty much.
So
With
when did
music,
you move
with
over
hip
to,
hop.
when
Huh?
did you move over to Mita?
Well, we took that over 4 years. Like I
Okay.
said, the
So is it
music.
this, it's the same, are you a partner there too?
No, me
No?
time now.
Okay.
No, no.
Okay.
The Road Boys finished the December. We closed the doors of Road Boys December 19 of 2022. So right
Okay.
before we started 2023. After opening 4 years, like I said, we
Hmm.
opened in 2018.
Hmm.
Well, pandemic hit us, one full year with them, 2019 into 2020. Pandemic hit us, with changes happened. We came back after pandemic. Everybody, a lot of investors got their money. Everybody
Yeah.
decided to walk away.
Okay.
So we closed it. But the whole year of 2021, I met with the brother and a sister
Hmm.
named Carla and Juan Sanchez. They are both full Bolivians.
Mm.
Because I turned Raw Boys into a little bit of Latin American culture.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's
So
a
they
spirit.
noticed that.
They
Yeah.
did mainly because I incorporate a very popular Bolivian spirit named Singani.
Ah, I love Singani. I love
And
Singani. Mhm.
I was the only Singani person in DC. So that opened up a lot of eyes to certain directions,
Nice, nice.
and including them because they wanted to open a bar named
Mhm.
Casa Cantuta.
Oh,
Cantuta
okay.
is the national flower of Bolivia.
Oh.
And what would happen is we end up doing pop-ups. And that pop-up also blew up even way more name into it. And Cantuta is all based off music, tradition, Bolivian tradition, carnival. So it's always bringing concerts. We're always doing live music, bringing artists from Bolivia because they had the finance situation for that. And
Hmm.
they made me the reverse director for all that because I was creating Bolivian, Latin American, everything. I still was running Row Boys. I still was doing that for the last
Hmm.
year or so. So when we closed that, I went into Casa Cantuta for the whole year of 2023.
Wow, nice.
Um, but that
And
was
then
it.
and then Mita came along.
And then Mita came along. They
So
decided
tell.
they didn't open a restaurant. I didn't open the bar yet. The
Mhm.
ideas were changing for them. I think that the brothers saw that it's a lot of work to open a
Yeah, yeah.
business. Um,
Tell me
but
about the drink. You've done it. It's there. You're getting noticed for it. I've read about you here, but
yeah,
I love that you have worked your way up to making these drinks with the Latin,
yeah,
influence, and that people are
yep,
recognizing that and are
yeah,
coming to you for that, which is huge.
yeah,
It's wonderful.
yeah.
So when you got there, you're like, this is what I'm going to do. What are the kind of flavors that you're bringing in? What have you taught
Now
people?
or
Well,
when
I
I was doing.
guess I guess that evolution because you kind of started bringing it in. So what? I mean, you brought Singani to Washington D.C. It sounds like.
Yeah. So at Road Boys, I changed that because through the years, through decades, Latin American culture flipped and helped the industry beverage, the industry in general in America. Like if you think about just the way it's like I say directly to everybody, I say you open a business right now, you have Latino people working for you or immigrants in general working for
Mhm.
you. There's no way, not disrespecting anybody born
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
raised here, educated here, because I am one of them, but different background. You will not open a bar, coffee shop, or a restaurant and have all Americans, black or white, Asian, whoever you want to call American person nowadays, and actually run the restaurant with no problem. No, it's also going to be 50 to 60% immigrant Latin Americans working in your establishment.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, the mentality of Latin American inspiration and traditions changed the culture of drinking in America. It's not
Yeah.
DC only; it's in everywhere.
Yeah.
So I brought that. I brought flavors. I brought fruits. I brought techniques. I brought spirits that you don't really see. I mean, at that point, I think 2017, mezcal was just like, man, it's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
People
Mm-hmm.
were still thinking about rum, maybe vodka here and there, but man, mezcal, tequila was just getting up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I used that to incorporate the tradition with mezcal tequilas and everybody else, like Singani. Next, everybody start knowing what Singani is, and I make a huge movement for that. Not necessarily because of the spirit, but Latin American in general.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And that's how I incorporate everything, like just in general. I go sit down, I do this. I hit books. I go online now. Nowadays, even more better websites and better techniques to like learn.
Yeah.
What are they drinking in Peru? What is their favorite food in Ecuador? What's their favorite dish? What are they drinking? And I brought drinks that if you go to Peru, you drink that and during the day, and you're like, oh my God, this is great. I brought that in here and turned it into a cocktail, and everybody just changed the whole, dynamic of
That's awesome.
creating things, basically.
So great. And it's educational for everybody. So
Yeah,
I always have to ask, like, I always kind of wind these things up by asking for yourself. You work so much and it sounds like you are always very involved in everything you do. So when you have some downtime for yourself, when you're relaxing, you have the day off today. You have a rare day off. So if we're going to sit down and listen to some music and sip on something, what is that?
Yes.
What are you listening to?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I love all music.
Yeah.
I love all of it. I'm telling you, I know artists. I'm passionate about the music, but I'm a punk rock kid for life.
Well, Washington, D.C. had its own amazing scene for a long time.
Yes. I wear black all day, every day, all my life. I still paint my nails black. I'm punk rock all day. I mean, I don't use any other mascara. I'm just like the old school. Like, I love heavy metal. I love punk rock. I love rock en español heavy. I love rock en español in general. Like, if I'm sitting here like today, like before I got to here, my music here was pumping. It was rock en español from the 80s, 90s. That's my thing. Yes, some new stuff here there. Same thing about America. 80s rock, 90s rock is all me. Like, yes, I listen to 2000s stuff. Don't get me wrong; it's all love, But that's what I said. But that's what I listen to. I listen to a lot of rock, Espanol and English. 80s, 90s is my years, of my teenage and up. So that's what I listen to all day, every day.
I love it.
That puts me on the groove for do things.
What are you drinking when you're listening to that? Is it just a beer?
Right now, today I'm not drinking. So today I'm not drinking. But usually, if I'm drinking, if I want to sip something chill, relax. Honestly, I lived in Mexico for a long time. I love agave. I'm a huge certified agave knowledge, everything. So mezcal, tequila, I'm always like
sipping on that.
Barely a piece of ice just to open up. Like, yes, I do get my whiskey on sometimes. There's times that I have that urge. I go to a place called Jack Rose here in DC. Biggest whiskey bourbon portfolio in the world. So I go there and find something nice and sip on something like that. I do have some whiskeys in home here and there. I do a whiskey here and there.
Nice.
I'm mainly a mezcal guy. I do try other spirits to learn and see what's going on. Like,
but if you're home, it's the mezcal and some rock en español.
It's not my home. It's the mezcal. I love Singani. I barely drink Singani here and there. If I drink Singani, it has to be like the old tradition Singani, like when my grandfather, like when I was in Bolivia, sort of, which is strictly ginger ale, lime juice in Singani, and like a Moscow Mule style kind of thing.
That sounds delicious.
All right.
Well, on that note, I should wrap this thing up and everything. But it was so great to talk with you, Lou. I mean, there's so much more. I know we could have talked about a lot more, but
I know we kind of went the other way.
I'm so sorry that I don't have the time to keep going. But I'm so glad that you've made some time to do this. Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate you. Sorry, we were up and down.
Oh, we have all kinds of things to talk about. That's a good thing.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
And all around the world.
Something that Lou failed to mention was that he was named one of the best new bartenders in 2025 with Punch. And of course, we know he's been bartending a bit longer than that, but it's always nice to get a little recognition. So congrats on that, Lou. If you want to follow him on Instagram, you can at Louv in DC, and that is LUIVINDC. And then, of course, follow Mita, where you can find him working at Mita_DC. Those are the Instagram handles. And, what else? Oh, there's a playlist. Yes. Head over to the Music and Booze with Mo Spotify page to see his playlist, which is a crazy mix of 90s hip hop, 80s rock and roll, and some Latin stuff, of course, all that reggaeton from like the early 2000s and late 90s. It's a fun one, and it's a long one, so it'll keep you going for a while. Thank you so much, Lou, for chatting with me. It was really great to talk with you. Thank you for tuning in to our barroom chats on Music and Booze with Mo. For more info about today's guest, or if you want to connect with me, check out my Facebook page, Mo Herms. Please subscribe to the podcast and feel free to tell all your friends about it. While you're there, give the show a rating and a review. It really helps to get the word out. If you want to hear the playlists our guests have curated, search She Be Mo on Spotify, SHEBMO. Find pictures of the interviewees and the cool stuff they create on the Music and Booze with Mo Instagram account. Lower your expectations and join us at the bar. Till next time, cheers.